Hey everybody, I'm coming in to you today with an update to the Curious Expedition. I always want to say it without the, but I need to say it correctly. Anyways, Alpha 5 just came out yesterday, called The Triumphant Return. It adds a lot of new things, tons and tons of things. It's a pretty heavy update, I like to feel. They add a lot each one for alpha updates. So there's a couple new units, there's a couple items, there is a new ending screen, many perks, and angry, a lot of things. So we're going to go down in order. I'm going to talk about the celebration screen first. So now, when you do complete the game, when you finish the expedition, you now get a big old celebration screen. And depending on how much fame you've gathered throughout the game, you'll get a larger size of crowd that will be there, which is really nice. I like that a lot. And it changes. It makes it feel like, you come back from a big expedition, you got all of these people there, fame. You're like, yeah, I got a bunch of zombie mummified bodies and golden statues, and people really enjoy that. So they come out and be like, you're a great expeditionist, you've discovered so many things. There's also quite a new events that have been added into the game that's not mentioned on this picture that I have using as a background. Those things happen to be added new night village events, there's new nature resting night events, there's new harbor events, there's new non-hostile elephant zones, which means you can find often when you find things like the hyenas and stuff, they attack you, but elephants are non-hostile, but you can attack them from ivory, which I assume is worth even more fame. There's new lookout tower and event locations, and there's a reworked slaver location / event. So, a couple new events, well, more than a couple. There's probably quite a bit in there. I haven't gone through to be able to experience every single one. Next up, there are new villages. So villages will now become angry once your standing drops to zeros. Angry villagers will spawn groups of natives that are hostile to before you. So the whole village mechanic was, the reputation was in the game last alpha, but they actually wouldn't get angry when you dropped to zero. Now they would say things like they are uneasy with you, or they do not like you being here, or something along those lines. But now they'll actually be like, get the hell out of my village, don't come by us. So you got to be careful if you decide to anger the villages quite a lot by taking all of their sacrifices and mummified emperors that they've, buried, and you're just stealing all their stuff for fame. Villagers will now attack you if you deny to pay a tribute after you've been caught stealing. That's pretty cool. So if you do steal stuff and they're like, hey, you stole from us, and you're like, sucks, bro. Yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that. They're going to be like, all right, you're not going to give us anything, they will attack you. And trading in native villages will also increase your standing by once per village. So you can kind of balance. If you trade with every village you come across and you gain a reputation, you can steal from them and more than likely not run into the major negative changes that come from being too low and having villagers attack you. General gameplay, streamlined harbors events. You'll only be offered a quest or an item, a recruitable unit, and then set sail becomes available. So it looks like you're only going to be getting one of those. You won't be getting both, because it says how they worded it is you will only be offered a quest or item, a recruitable unit, and then so you only get a quest, an item, or a recruitable unit. You cannot get more than those. They also added tutorials for prompts of combat. I really like that, because the very first time I played and I got in combat, I had no idea what I was doing. I just kept rolling dice, and I would look at my dice, and I'm like, cool, I got attack dice, I got defense dice, and whatever the other dice was, and I would just be like, alright, why didn't I do any damage? And now, after later in the game, I learned that you had to click on the dice and add them to your actual damage thing up top and defense thing, and I didn't know that at first, which was the reason I lost my first one. So it's nice that they added the tutorial. If you don't have translators, all text by native people will now be shown scramblers. So if you don't have a translator in your party, you will have a difficult problem understanding the native people. Okay, so it kind of makes sense because you're not exactly speaking in their native language, so it's going to be a little bit harder to hear them. And they also added screen shakes for sprawling disasters. So when things like earthquakes and other things happen within the game, they're going to shake your screen more and make them more dramatic, which I like. I like that a lot. There's more perks available as well. There is a multi-talented perk that was renamed to Polymath, because Marie Curie, one of the people that you can play as the main expedition person, now has Polymath as apparently as history. She won a lot of Nobel Prizes in physics and chemistry, so I guess to the game it makes sense that she has that because she's skilled in both two separate things in the world, in life, and in intelligence. I don't know how to word that properly. Some of the new perks other than that perk being renamed is Bullet Hoarder, Polygot, and Dream Visions, Lone Survivor, and Scouting. In addition, all starting perks of the other explorers are now potentially available when offered your perk at the celebration screen. So that's pretty good. I'm not entirely sure. In addition, all starting ports of other explorers are now potentially available when you offer your perks at the celebration screen. I think that what that's wording, because I've never actually beat the game before or gotten to the end. I think that how that's worded is that you can give up your traits that you've acquired for the next starting expedition. Yeah? Is that what it's trying to word there? I think that's what it's trying to word. They did add some more items. You can see the tombs in the top right of the picture. Added tombs which replace and improve the old fetish objects. Tomb pages can be used once and then they are gone. There are already quite a lot of them. Make sure you try them all out at your own risk. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of good ones that can possibly improve your sanity or give you items or give you fame. And there's going to be a lot of negative ones that can perhaps cause an earthquake, cause a fire, etc., etc. So it's kind of like an even more dangerous element. It's like, I know if I probably steal from this shrine, I'll get an earthquake or something negative will happen. But a tomb, you could be like, this could be good or this could be bad. So that's another kind of decision you're going to have to make throughout the game. Units, I really like the units part because there's a lot of new units, and there's one particular unit which is quite horrifying in my opinion if you ever had to deal with that in real life, which is not real, but it's still think about it, it's pretty crazy. So one of the new units is a Beldwin. It can be recruited in a desert village. They are very good at traversing the desert. They're masters of the desert, so they'll probably have maybe they'll give you a less sanity losing when you move, or maybe they'll give you or have you find more, or maybe they give you more arrow direction, compass direction. Who knows? But they give some type of benefit when you are in desert areas and you have a Belderin in your party. Another new unit is the Cultists. Be wary of their treachery. They may turn into an abomination when injured. They also like to take over missions. Alderus Crowley starts with one of these cultists by default. So cultists, they are a fishy kind of unit. They also have the possibility of turning into a new unit, which is called an abomination. And abominations are very powerful, but extremely grotesque and dangerous unit. Bringing enough raw meat, they will help themselves. But if you do not have enough raw meat, they will eat you, one of your party members. They'll attack. I'm not sure if if it will be an event where you'll just be like, your abomination, blah, 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 whatever his name happens to be, has eaten one of your characters. So that's gonna be a little unfortunate if that happens, but they're pretty. I mean, the abomination is the one in between the cultists and the Bedouin. That's pretty messed up looking creature. It's got an extra arm. It's got missing teeth. It's got kind of a tumor growing on the back of its neck. I don't know, man, but I would not want to be next to that thing in my party, no matter how powerful it is. It seems really risky. Another thing about units is injured units will no longer lose their capacity and will still be able to carry objects just as normal, which is pretty good. So if you do get into battle and they do get hurt, it's not like they just have to drop their stuff on the ground and be like, I can't carry because I twisted my ankle or twisted my wrist. So they'll still be able to carry your stuff, which is good. You're not going to have to leave anything behind and lose fame because of it. Native units can now become homesick, which is kind of cool because obviously if you're a native and you get taken away from your home and you're in like a desert all of a sudden, you're going to not be used to what this is. You're going to miss your family. You lived in a village your whole life. It kind of ties into the whole thing. Yeah, if this status is effective, the unit will not return home after you and will be found after you find the golden pyramid. So if he becomes homesick and you go into a golden pyramid, he's like, you know what? It's been a cool time, but I'm going to leave. Which is unfortunate for him. So you won't find him until you go back to the same native unit homeworld. Until then, he'll be gone from your party. They changed some Explorer unlock requirements. Ada is not unlocked by default anymore. So, unfortunately, we lost a character that you start with, but eventually you'll unlock it anyway. So it's not that big of a problem. Some bug fixes that have came in from last patch into this one is bug fixes, fixed saved games, so saved games were obviously having a problem, they're now fixed. Full screen button and setting menus have been fixed. Sometimes it was impossible to dismiss any characters from your party, so that's been fixed. Multi-talented / polymaths sometimes will offer 3 choices, so they fixed that. All characters should be unlockable now. I guess there was a bug that was causing all characters not to be unlocked. Fixed many spelling errors, thanks to all the suggestions in the forum, so that now it should be looking a lot better. And another bug fix just came out today, which is fixed golden pyramids was destroyable by fire. Now when I read this bug fix, I actually laughed out loud because I thought that was really funny. Could you imagine going through your game and then a fire starts and you're like, oh no, fire. You're like, oh, it's spreading so much. Oh no. And then you're like, oh, the golden pyramid. And then you see the fire coming and you're like, that doesn't burn it. I'll still be able to go inside. And then it catches on fire and disappears. And you're like, what the fuck do I do now? I thought that was really funny. And then fixed the weather balloon item, which is probably one of the new items that is also added in the game. I don't remember it from before. And fixed the tutorial, should not use region score mechanic. I'm not sure what that bug fix is, but that is that. So anyways, that's alpha. All of it should be everything from Alpha 5, other than things that I can't get into that require like hours of gameplay to find out and figure out. But overall, it's a big update. I like it a lot, and there's supposedly another update coming out in like 2 weeks. So I'm going to be seeing some things there. Hopefully we'll see a lot of stuff in that as well. Be covering that too. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. It's very much appreciated and helps out the series quite a lot. And I'll see you guys next time with the next update to the Curious Expedition. I'm Sergeant Kenai, and I'm signing out.